This week on Not Sauce for Work, Terry Tam is in the studio and Eagle is in the nest. I can't count because I don't have my glasses. We'll get into the NHL playoffs, the fake Klay ban, and the unprecedented fine for the Commanders' DC Jack Del Rio. We'll also talk to Tasso Bozinakis playing for Team Greece in the Quebec Ball Hockey Championship. We'll get to this and much more on this episode of Not Sauce for Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. Know to choose a melon?
The proper way or the way like my grandmother told me?
Well, so
you gotta smack it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've been told two different things. One of them is you kind of like put your ear on it, you tap it to see how it is, hollow, and the other one is to like finger it in the asshole of the melon to see how soft it is.
But you're not supposed to put your finger in the grocery store melon's ass.
Well, I mean, first I think you need to buy the melon something nice and ask
exactly.
consent,
And ask consent, and then
hang out a little while.
Exactly.
See what things.
Don't rush it.
Get some dinner, maybe some sex. See where things go.
Because that's where you get the most juice.
Yeah.
What if I get a hotel room at a private club and get a bunch of people to come in and massage the melon?
I think you should try to keep it under 66 melon massagers.
The best
to make a decision on your melon.
The best about that is that the Eagle's in the background. His voice, his lisp, saying that is just it's like a check mark for like one of the funniest lines you ever hear in your life.
Yeah. It's because he gets away with it because he doesn't have the shame of his face being on camera. It's
exactly.
our shame.
Yeah, exactly. he looks like Mark Wahlberg though. For anybody who's asking. Yeah.
If a horrible accident happened to Mark Wahlberg,
it's funny because I was tagged in a picture with like all of us a bunch of years ago. Man, it's like your friend looks like really close to Mark Wahlberg. I'm like, I know. It's not like it's a known thing.
We were at a softball game a couple of years ago when we were playing the same team, and this girl on the stand said, "Hey, your friend looks like Mark Wahlberg." And then when he left, she's like, "Oh, Mark Wahlberg left."
That's funny.
Yeah. I've been woken up on a red-eye plane from Phoenix to Montreal by an Aboriginal woman sitting next to me saying, "Excuse me, are you Mark Wahlberg?" Not like you look like. Are you?
Are you the
yes.
guy, the underwear model?
I'm on from
Coach.
the 80s. I'm on a red eye from Phoenix to Montreal, sitting in the last row of Coach. I am clearly Mark Wahlberg.
Do I look like I own Wahlburger? Me? Do I look like I could have been the star of a movie of bodybuilders doing steroids?
and then I accidentally
with lots of steroids, perhaps.
Yeah.
Then I accidentally insulted her by saying like whatever her name was. I'm like, oh, it's a very like
John.
No, it was a woman.
John.
But it was like, oh, you have a very common name. Like I'm used to having like Aboriginal names being like. White Raven or Bronco, this and that. He's like, oh, my husband's name is Bronco.
That's
and I was like, I'm going back to sleep now.
This conversation didn't happen.
It's almost
the drugs have really hit my head.
It's almost as insulting as National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets.
Ah, yes.
Where
one of the best movies of all time.
Well, yes, I actually agree, but because Nicolas Cage is in it. But there was at one point in the movie they said we need someone who speaks Native American. Because apparently that's one language.
The movie about the history of the United States.
Yes. But wait, what do natives have to do with the history of the United States?
That's a good point.
You can't teach about it now anyways.
Yeah, definitely
so
can't.
Therefore, it didn't happen.
You definitely can't.
I got the melon. I did.
Did you finger it?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't know about the fingering. I will try the fingering. Next time.
Please, to everybody out there, don't go fingering the melons.
Okay,
at
to actually explain this,
stick to the slapping melons you're used to.
At least at the
butt
IGA
of the
St.
melon,
Dorothy.
you press in just a bit. You put a little bit
I
of
don't
pressure.
understand your anatomy of a melon.
There's no butt. There's no face. There's no
like,
arms.
like where the
it only
vine
has
would
melon.
connect, where the vine would connect to the melon, that spot, the spot that's not part of the round of the melon.
Do you think the umbilical cord connects to your ass?
It should.
It's the ass of the melon.
Okay.
Have you never watched The Human Centipede? Anyway, so you put your
movie.
You put your thumb there.
Treasure Book of Secrets.
You put your thumb there, and you put a little bit of pressure. And if it's very, very, very soft, it's super ripe. And if it's very firm, it's not ripe yet. That's what I've been told.
So you need medium softness.
You want
the
it
melon
to give a bit, but not a lot.
You want anything between ripe and soft.
Yeah.
Mid-ripe.
Mid-ripe.
Mid-ripe is the word we're looking for today.
Melon.
Mid-ripe.
Mid-ripe.
So finger melons until they're mid-ripe.
Yeah. We need to ask Tasso about this when he's on the show later.
Definitely gonna ask Tasso about
Gently
that.
push on the end of the melon opposite from the stem. If there's a slight give, the melon is probably ripe. That's what it says on the internet, but I've always done the asshole. So
The stem hole, so to speak. I know. I bought it melon. I did the slap trick.
Yeah.
And I brought it home and like the outside of the melon, the parts closest to the skin were great. And then everything inside was overly ripe. Eagle, I can't read that out of my glasses.
no, just look. See?
I can't see
asshole.
anything.
Okay, but these aren't the same. Like we don't see these melons in Montreal. Like they don't have.
You
those
don't see cantaloupes and honeydews?
No,
I don't
we
want
do,
free
but
shipping.
not like that fresh. Like they don't have those fresh lines. Like we're not talking about the same kinds of melons here.
Yeah.
We're talking about mass-produced GMO melons.
I would say that you and I don't see the same melons as Eagle sees.
It's a very
Very
good point.
clearly, yeah.
It's a very good point.
Very clearly.
Eagle likes melons.
Yeah. He does some.
He's a meloni
things.
kind of guy,
Yeah.
you know.
But we had a lot to get to. We do have an interview today. We do have lots of stories to get to. So I think with that, it's time to get to the news. Terry, it's the news.
Yeah.
Perhaps we'll take a break after this segment and
We
discuss
should.
what to do next
Yeah.
instead of doing the meeting on air.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah, so
What other news?
we'll get into the news
Is it
first.
now?
Is it now? Yes. I starts the only place I can. Really, this was inedible. Fake Klay Thompson has been banned from Chase Arena
That's what I don't understand. Is like he got banned for their failures.
for trespassing, even though he was invited onto the court.
Oh, he was invited.
Well, not invited. Like he just started walking towards the doors, and people kept opening doors for him.
Yeah.
Because
When somebody opens a door for you, that's an invitation.
Yeah.
It really is.
like so, when I go to your house,
I think it's a
if the door
definition.
doesn't open, I'm not invited.
Yeah,
If it's open, I'm going to go inside.
If the
So
door-
we actually have the footage now because he published it today,
But
essentially.
he didn't open any doors himself, which I
No,
noticed.
just
Morning, guys.
like they just let him in.
But like he doesn't really look like Klay Thompson. He looks like him, but not like that much like him. And Klay Thompson's like a skinny guy.
I was gonna say. So first of all,
We just walked right through security into the stadium, man. Look at this.
And this guy has the best YouTube channel
We could just
also.
go into the locker room if we wanted to.
I love his YouTube
I'll
channel.
watch about 8 seconds to turn it off.
No, he's funny. He's got some good ones. I don't subscribe, but I see a few of them like on Facebook and stuff. Like a few of those like prank videos or like the giving out gifts and stuff. Yeah, if they're staged, they're staged. But this is crazy. But this guy's draining buckets too. Like that's the good thing. Like imagine he missed like the first shot. They'd be like, okay, that guy's not him.
Oh,
But
there's
he,
this one.
he might have bought himself.
Well, that also fits for Klay though.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know what the paint looks like. But that's the thing is like if he missed a few of those, they'll be like, okay, get out. But he bought himself like an additional 30 seconds, I'd say, because
But
he
even
hit those
now,
buckets.
they catch him, right? Look how nice they are.
Yeah. They laugh together after.
We gotta go back. We gotta go? Yeah, we gotta go back.
Clearly, some of the nicest security people.
Yeah.
in playing.
San Francisco.
Although
VP of security.
didn't they
though,
get
clearly.
didn't they get sued for attacking Masai Ujiri?
Yeah, well, the cop did, right? He pushed him. No, Masai Ujiri pushed him
Oh yes,
because he refused to allow him after he won the championship.
championship to get on the court. Yeah.
What a doofus. What does Masai Ujiri come off? Walking down there like he owns
Celebrate
the
his
place.
championship.
Like he owns the fucking place.
So here's a couple of things. One is, I was telling Eagle, he looks like Klay Thompson the way the Matt Damon doll looks like Matt Damon in Team America.
That's a good point.
Like only vaguely and kind of
Kind of.
ridiculous.
Look, they look like. Have you ever seen those Old Spice commercials with Ivan Drago?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like CGI. That's what he looks like.
Okay.
He looks like the Ivan Drago CGI on the Old Spice commercials of Ivan Drago
But also,
sweating.
they don't
profusely.
think much of Klay because he's kind of chunky.
Yeah, that guy had
Clay's
boobs,
in
man.
much better shape.
Like that guy, Big Doss, whatever his name is. He's got some tits on him.
Yeah, I know Clay's not the fittest of the fit, but he's not fat.
He's also extremely skinny.
Yeah, he's a pro athlete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. He just shoots threes. No paint for him.
none at all. So they won. The Warriors won Game 5 with Steph and Wiggins going 0 for 15 from 3. And
First time ever, no?
First time in any playoff game Steph doesn't hit a 3. First time since 2018 where he goes an entire game without hitting a 3.
Wow.
And I think in that game he only played like 15 minutes.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, seriously. But they're
still up though.
They're up in a series, and we also learned in this game that Jaylen Brown dribbles like Stanley in The Office in the episode where they play basketball.
No, he doesn't.
Dribbles about as bad.
No, he doesn't.
Every single time the ball hits the ground, off his hand, it's going to the Warriors.
Best part of that episode is just Kevin draining buckets after it's all done.
Yeah, that was that was also not Steph or Wiggins that did. Basically, I think the Dunder Mifflin team might have won Game 5.
Oh yeah, for sure. If they had Kevin Malone there, I'd say that. Now I don't believe you about Jaylen Brown. I gotta see it.
He dribbles terribly. He's turned over the ball constantly. Every time he puts, they're letting him dribble the ball because he can't dribble an NBA
How do you make
level.
it? How do you make
I don't know. He's a great defender. He's
what do
a
you
very
mean
good
by
shooter.
NBA level dribbling? College guys dribble the same way as
No,
NBA guys
they
do.
don't.
Yes.
No, they will get stripped 18 times. Like the worst.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's hard
Because it's just this.
Yeah, with guys all trying to rip it out of your hands.
It's just this.
with all the fastest people you've ever seen trying to get it from you.
It's just this. And for John Moran, it's this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, carries are fun.
Yeah, Allen Iverson was fucking.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson would walk with the ball in his hand like this.
From Jordan, they stopped carrying.
They're like,
wait, you can do that. You can dunk the ball that way.
Yeah.
Carry all you want.
Yeah, fuck it.
Carry all you want.
Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah. So the Celtics now down 3-2. Fake Klay can't get back in. They're going back to Boston.
Yeah.
After game 1, I was like, all right, well, after every Warriors game, after every Warriors win, I said, you know what, Warriors got this. This is easy. And then Boston comes back and looks like a different team. So I don't know. They tried letting Curry shoot for the first 4 games, which is the strangest decision I've ever seen.
Because he went fucking bananas on them.
Yeah. They played great defense this time, but then they allowed everyone else to score. So I don't know what they're going to do. They seem like the better team. They seem incredibly well coached, but it's all not working.
Yeah.
Mostly because Jaylen Brown can't dribble.
That's the only reason why.
That's the only thing I can see that's wrong. That and also Jason Tatum sometimes just settles for a bunch of mid-range jumpers, even though he's bigger and stronger than everyone.
I don't know. I haven't watched much. I can probably say I've watched a total of like 3/4 of this final. Okay, which is in nothing.
Nah.
Sample size, not even. Smaller than a sample. What's smaller than a sample?
A smidge.
A bagel bite.
A bagel bite. I've had a bagel bite of finals experience this year because there are 2 teams I don't give a shit about. And the Celtics.
The last game was really good, to be honest. It was a really good game.
I'm not saying it's not good basketball, but it's like the Celtics. The Warriors, it's like, okay, they're there. It's kind of boring at this point. New England Patriots, all that shit. But with the Celtics, it's like, I just don't believe that they're a good team.
They're really good.
If that means anything.
They were the number one ranked defense in the league.
It means nothing to a guy who literally didn't watch any Celtics games.
Yeah. they're good, but there is a... And I've been one of these guys who's critical of like quote unquote like the team's not ready.
Yeah.
Like they have talent or they don't have talent, and they seem to have talent, but there does seem to be something with Tatum where he's not Steph
weird.
Curry at this point,
Right?
right?
He'll never be.
Well, no, but like just he's not that level of the best player on your team. Like you know what I mean? Like
he's a secondary player.
Like I don't even think I think he will be.
Yeah.
Probably even next season. It just for some
Why,
reason.
you think Jaylen Brown's gonna like surpass him?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Well, definitely unless he goes to like camp and learns to dribble.
So who would go to Boston? That would
No,
bring those
he's
two
the
guys
number
up?
one.
Okay.
I just think he's playing like an A- player, not
Yeah.
an A+ player. Like that's the difference.
You
basically
can't
in
have
series.
days off when you're that age and you're trying to prove
Yeah.
something. Like Steph Curry missing in the 4th quarter. No 3-pointers and no points in the last 5 minutes of a couple games ago.
He's also
whatever.
averaging 30 points a game.
Exactly. Like Steph Curry has already like earned, like he does other things. Like he everybody else is open because of him, right? Where Jason Tatum doesn't have that yet. And that's the thing. And I don't think he ever will. Like he'll always be that guy, Carmelo Anthony level. Maybe not the guy that is going to bring you to that, like to win every single year. I think he's had a fantastic year from what we saw, but overall, he's going to be a secondary player. Kind of like, I don't want to say compare him, but the guy from Toronto there, I always forget his name.
Pascal Siakam.
Siakam.
He's much better than Siakam.
He's better player than Siakam, but like Siakam had that everybody thought he was going to be the
well,
guy.
when Kawhi and Lowry were on the team, though, right? Like
exactly.
He's a great number 3. Yeah. I think Tatum is a number 1. Like it's not Wiggins, right? Like we see Wiggins. Wiggins is another great example. But Wiggins right now is playing great. But we already know what it looks like when he's number one.
Exactly.
He gets 27 empty points and they win 32 games.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just the same thing with like hockey goalies. You know, it's like they're hot and then they're not, and then you have to take the good and the bad. And with Jason Tatum is like he gets cold at the worst moments, I think, and that's going to be his defining.
If this
factor.
was 2004 and Jason Tatum was on Hot or Not, what would you rate him?
Oh, remember Hot or Not? I was like a 7.6.
I was up there in the 8s, baby.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd you pay?
Really?
Oh, everyone I could find.
Jason Tatum, I give.
I was really attractive.
6.2.
It all faded quickly.
I'd love. Is Hot or Not still exist, Eagle?
Probably.
I'd love to do like a weekly segment on Hot or Not.
Yeah, just find a person.
Yeah.
And just post the results. We don't have to analyze. Just post the
Man,
results.
imagine that today.
That would not go well. for
No,
anybody.
people are too sensitive for that stuff today.
Yeah.
I'm not a basketball guy, so every time you kept saying Jason Tatum, I kept hearing Jason Statham, and I'm like,
Yeah.
since when is he playing for the Celtics? But that sounds like a great movie plot.
Jason Statham, all 5'7" of him, is gonna fucking be a basketball player.
It works though, because playing in Boston, you know, you can hear the movie trailer right now. Jason Statham is white.
White guy really can't jump.
This one can. This summer. I miss
In a world.
I miss movie narrators, man. They made trailers lit.
Oh, it always reminds me of that Seinfeld episode when Kramer is the movie phone.
Mhm.
Hello, welcome to movie
Mhm.
phone.
Oh,
Fucking classic, man.
so
that show's too good.
there's been some
Timeless.
There's been some interesting stories of the NFL offseason. And I keep thinking they're going to be the main story. Like whether it's Deshaun Watson. There's the weird Brady story that we broke that has made its way to NBC and to Pro Football Focus. ESPN refuses to cover it for reasons I don't understand, even though we'll get to that in a second. Yet those stories seem to be taking a backseat to everything that's always happening to the Washington Commanders.
Weird, eh?
Jack Del Rio gets an unprecedented $100,000 fine from his
What's the
head
quote?
coach.
I held myself back from looking at it.
So
What's the quote?
I can't quote it exactly, but he
Eagles gonna quote
He
it.
did two things. He said he called the insurrection attempt on January 6th a dust up.
Dust up.
Yeah, which was the part that most people hung on to. And then he did the worst thing ever, which you can't do on the internet. Like you can't do the what about. Like what about the Black Lives Matter protests? It's like
So the
so short-sighted.
The full quote is, "Let's have a discussion. Why are we not looking into those things if we're going to talk about it? Why are we not looking
What do you
into
mean
those
things?
He's talking
But go
about some of the other, like the BLM protests. Like, I
Yeah.
can look at images on the TV. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Businesses are being burned down. No problem. And then we have a dust up at the Capitol. Nothing burned down, and we're going to make that a major deal. A group of citizens attempted to overturn the results of a free and fair election, and as a result, lives were lost and the Capitol building was damaged," is the quote that came after that, essentially, but as part of the apology.
That was what the Redskins said.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the Commanders. Sorry.
And the fine apparently came directly from Ron Rivera.
Why does he have the power to find a defensive coordinator?
GM.
I
I
mean,
think he's a
theoretically, he
GM
can
too,
find
no?
players,
But he's
right?
not the employer.
I think he's a GM. No.
Ron Rivera.
I don't
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know
Like
that
he's
he is.
I think he has like some, I think it's part of his deal.
But
It's
he-
always been.
But
I think he's always
is
had
the
manager.
GM like do the coaches?
What? No.
The
What
coaches
happens
are not
is
like there's no direct line
Marty
of
Mayhew is the GM.
this is what I'm thinking happened. Ron Rivera's like, okay, listen, Jack, I'm gonna say that I find you, so because no nonsense, locker room, all that shit. I'm gonna say that I find you. That's how we're gonna paint it. We're gonna paint it to the media.
yeah.
Is that I find you because everybody's gonna want your fucking head if it's the owner that finds you. The best way to do it is if I'm accepting you saying stupidities and we're gonna rip you in the media, but you'll still have a job.
So it's possible.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm of two minds here.
Tinfoil hat.
I had a great conspiracy and then I forgot it as I was working on the script. But you would have loved it. It was a great
Oh,
conspiracy.
I love it. Love
Um,
stupid conspiracies.
So the thing that where I'm uncomfortable is this. We obviously all think people should have the right to free speech, and social media is not anyone's specific job, right? Like, I understand these are public figures, but it's still their personal space,
Yeah.
right? But yet people get punished for this all. It's clear that
I don't think you
there's-
should have been fined. I don't think you
I'm-
should.
I'm-
I don't
I'm
think
co-
you should have gotten anything.
I'm with you to a degree because I think there's not a precedent where a coach gets fined by another coach. First of all,
Yeah, that's weird.
for about 10% of his salary is a lot.
Yeah.
And then the thing is that I will say this though, is freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequence.
Exactly.
So, for
You can say
example,
whatever you want.
yeah, like if someone says something supporting the Nazis, they're gonna get like a lot of blowback.
If Jack Del Rio went on and said, Hitler had a thing. Like
And also tinfoil hat, he's blonde. So
Exactly.
Well, peace. Let's be real here.
Died
It depends
blonde.
what
Died
state
blonde.
you're in, because in some states you say something about Nazis and you end up in Parliament.
that's a good point.
You get
also
elected as a
true.
representative.
That's
Yeah.
a very good point.
that's also true. But that's
Consequences.
but that's the thing is like is so
Promotions.
I don't know how to navigate this, because in some ways this is a workplace matter, right? Like where someone says, basically the boss says, you're a public figure, you made us look bad in front of our sponsors and fans and people that pay our salaries.
Here's a penalty.
That's why there's a penalty. I kind of get it,
Yeah.
but then it's murky because it's not exactly his job. It's also not his job. So I don't know
Yeah.
what the, like, is it okay to say I don't know
But
what
there
the
must
right
be
thing
something
is?
in his contract.
I would imagine.
That's exactly.
And
That's all it is. But if we're looking at it like outside
it's
in,
conduct detrimental to the brand.
yeah,
or
to the
something
brand.
like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
we see players being fined for that, and they have a collective bargaining agreement, right? Where like it's harder even to find players than
If
it is to
he's-
find coaches.
If he avoided the what about, I think he would have been
Yeah.
fine.
The dust
He would
up
he would have gotten ripped. But the thing is,
because it's like it's
how many people died at the Capitol?
6,
6 people.
but it's the symbol
Also,
of
you
democracy.
are the Washington D.C. team, so it's also close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Right.
get that. Yeah, for sure. No.
It's the symbol to the world of democracy being threatened by its own.
First of all, these fucking people, the ones that walked in, like, did you see them?
Yeah. So yes,
They're fucking.
But-
what the hell?
but
What?
so
these are the people.
but there's currently a trial that's suggesting that the president of the country was trying to get the vice president to decertify the results of the election, which would be a large
Effectively a political coup.
yeah, political
big
coup,
time. Yeah.
which again is never happened. The last time it happened was 1776, and it was the fucking Queen,
Yeah.
right? Like it was England that was overthrown. So there's literally no precedent for how to handle this because it's never happened before.
And by
I
the way,
remember
that
our reaction when that
clause-
happened was like, "Yo, this is far."
Yeah.
My understanding is that clause only exists because back then the results had to make their way to basically the Capitol to get certified, but it was like you had to travel to get it there,
Yeah.
right? And it took days,
Whatever
weeks
it is.
potentially to get the results in. And so there was like the whole idea of, well, are you actually the real representative being sent, or are you just like some idiot with a piece of paper, basically? And right, that was the reason why they gave the VP the power of, I don't trust you. We're gonna go back and get the actual results back from
But
the
now-
state.
It's almost as if you
Now emails exist.
yeah.
you know?
It's almost as if the
Excel
Second
sheets.
Amendment was written before AR-15s were created.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like
It's almost
you
as
know.
if it takes you 6 minutes to load up a musket.
Yeah. Because like I feel like back in the day, if you could shoot someone with a musket,
I have made a lot of friends on Twitter in the last couple
those aren't
weeks.
real people.
And that I disagree with about guns and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I get followed because I'm going back and forth with them. There's some
Sorry.
people that are idiots though.
Oh yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people are dumb. I'm just being nice about it. Who goes like, oh, I guess you like it when little kids die. I'm like, no, that's
don't.
why I'm talking about this. Right?
Yeah. That's
Twitter's-
why changes need to be
Twitter's
made, but
fantastic.
we need to look at what the changes.
Twitter's
are.
the best.
Yeah.
The correct answer: we don't have children that die from gun death here in Canada.
Well,
I mean, it's not true.
unfortunately, we live in a city where it's happened twice,
Twice.
which is dreadful.
Twice in like 30 years.
Still.
One of them close to home.
It's
They happen twice an hour in the U.S.
Well, yeah, yeah.
It's pretty fucked up. They happen in bunches too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You go
Well, we've
one-
seen it now, right? Since like I'll never understand copycat crime. It's like that guy was really messed up. I want to be that person. I don't get it.
He had the right idea.
That's
I
awful.
liked his manifesto.
it
It
has
always
to be
comes
that.
back. It always comes back to the manifesto.
Yeah.
If you have like a solid manifesto, I might follow you.
I mean, but the thing is, so A, that's wild. But B, most of these manifestos are not solid.
No, that's what I'm
They're
saying.
just
But I haven't.
insane ramblings.
I haven't come on a solid manifesto yet. But if I do,
Yeah.
I might be inclined to join. Like I don't know. What are we talking about here?
You
Like,
should read the Agile Manifesto.
Who is that? What's
It's
that?
from software developers saying, fuck the system, we're doing our own thing.
Yes, I like that stuff.
I think that was the basis of the show Fringe.
Never saw an episode.
I know, I just-
refuse to watch an
I
episode.
throw that in once every 13 episodes and there's never a reaction.
I hate shows that's just the one word that you'll see like on CTV, like scandal, and Bones, Fringe,
Would you like them? Do you like them better if they're plural or
Lucifer.
Would you like fringes better than fringe, or would you like bone better than bones?
No, I mean like the Bones would be better.
Oh, the bones.
No, I'm just saying like all the good TV shows have like multiple names. It's not just like a generic one that you can just post on CTV. Like, you know what I mean? Those in between the NFL and the
Like
NFL games. and
Sopranos wouldn't have been of good. The Sopranos. Is
yeah,
why
because
it's
you're
there, right?
emphasizing the Sopranos.
Yeah.
The
Office
Sopranos.
as opposed to Office.
Exactly.
The Facebook.
No, that's not a TV show.
I'm trying to think of TV. like Lost.
Breaking Bad.
What if it was just called Breaking?
Or bad.
Or
What are
just
you
bad.
breaking? But he's breaking bad, and then it's I guess
So if
it's
you
a
take two words that mean nothing.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's
like
fine.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Fantastic name.
fair. I'm trying to think of a good show that
The
did
Flight
have-
Attendant. Succession.
Succession's one name, one word.
I know, but I like it so it gets
A lot of syllables though, right?
Long syllables. Yeah.
so like if you have one word,
descriptive.
you need a lot of syllables.
it has to be descriptive. Like Lucifer. I don't know. Is it about the devil? It could be.
It's based on a comic book called Lucifer. Very
Okay.
loosely based.
Okay.
on-
Then
it's
Bones.
not at all like
Bones. Like what is it? Are these people like
Okay.
archaeologists? Are they paleontologists?
What if there was a show called Batman?
I mean, I know it's about
The Batman?
a guy who's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
really?
Batman.
There was a show called Batman.
The Superman? The Spider-Man?
Like Scandal, like what? Like it's very generic. But the Blacklist, now that's a
will
name
say-
I can get under.
I will say that Batman was fine, but Batman the animated series was excellent.
Poof.
So just like that, just like that. So yeah, so Jack Del Rio's getting all the headlines, but at the same time, a news breaks that. By the way, news breaks.
Yeah.
I hate this business. Sean Payton
Oh, that.
was looking to get a 5-year, $100 million payment from the Miami Dolphins to be the team's head coach.
Like guaranteed.
Yeah, fully guaranteed. It
Oh, fuck
basically
is-
double the Gruden contract because it was half the years.
Oh, okay, yes.
And
That's nuts.
with that,
He can't be that good of a coach.
I
I know he is,
I
but
think
like,
he's good, but my thing is
not
there's
that
no
good.
cap anyway, so who cares if they get paid?
I get it, but it's
Also,
just,
they had Adam Gaze, so really.
Anything, yeah.
they're just trying to
true.
make up. Yeah, at this point, they're trying
Not
to break.
having a
Well, no,
coach
they-
would be
they're
They're trying to
better
break
than
the
that.
average.
They didn't actually have Adam Gase. They had Brian Flores, and the reason why this didn't happen is because of a lawsuit
Yeah.
where the ex-head coach alleged that their former employer was racist.
and trying to lose on purpose.
Yeah, I'm trying to, which is wild.
It's yeah.
So I can understand if you're Sean Payton, played by Kevin James in an Adam Sandler movie. You've already been embarrassed enough by that.
Yeah.
That you don't want to be embarrassed by taking a job that'll make you look bad.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, we were reporting on something else entirely. We were reporting on the Miami Dolphins and the lawsuit, the Brian Flores lawsuit. And it was just in talking to people that I kind of came across this Sean Payton and Tom Brady thing, and I was like,
It was kind of hidden.
well,
I feel like it was pretty out there.
but it's literally not been reported by ESPN since it's happened.
That's
We had news that Rappaport and Schefter
Yeah.
either didn't have or chose to
well,
not report.
That's a thing. I don't
Why?
believe they don't have it. I believe they're refusing to report it because
Why?
we've learned in the last few months that they're not reporters so much as mouthpieces
Yet
for
they
agents.
Pretty
reported
much,
on
yeah.
his retirement, but not this news.
Well, and here's the other thing: is when he came out and said that he was retiring, and Tom Brady said it's not a retirement, and then
Maybe that's why, because he
his
embarrassed them?
disappearance when he left, he only said bye to the Buccaneers and not the Patriots. The idea was, well, that makes sense now. If it's not a retirement, he's not saying goodbye to the Patriots fans
Yeah.
because
He's not retiring.
he's not retiring. So that all makes sense now. And I'm like, oh, okay. So this story does have legs. It did have legs in the first place. Why didn't seemingly no one other than us, Pro Football Talk, and NBC News, who owns Pro
Yeah.
Football Talk, how are these the three outlets that got the story? Why is it not being reported on? Is what I don't understand.
It doesn't make any sense.
So tinfoil hat time. Is it the agents that are telling Schefter and Rappaport? No, you don't know
No,
the story.
no.
Because I'll give you an
No,
example.
no.
I'll give
I
you
think that
I'll give you two recent examples where Dalvin Cook, for example, put out the story through Schefter that he was the abused one in the relationship when we found out there was actually like
yes.
situations where both of them had filed accusations
Yeah.
of domestic abuse. Another situation was the Deshaun Watson where they didn't find enough to go to take him to criminal court, and he said he was found innocent.
Yeah.
That's not the
That's
same
not
thing.
true.
It's
Then
blatantly false.
And then it was the way he described the death of the quarterback for
Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins. It's just that he's just striking out. It's crazy. He's off.
So that's what leads me to believe is that the only thing that breaks is information either the NFL or the agents want us to know.
Of course. So they don't.
So he's not a reporter anymore.
No, not anymore.
He was.
No,
He
the
absolutely
mouthpiece.
was. He was the best of the best.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. for
I'm not
sure.
doubting his talent.
I think Woj is the best one, and he's
But even
been for
Woj
us.
kind of feels like he's going down that path too.
They all do because it's
It's
just
the only way to
it
get
is.
the info.
It's because you do all these favors, right?
Yeah.
For all these guys, and then they're gonna start asking for favors. They're gonna be like, don't say this, don't say that, don't say this. If he's gonna ask now, they're gonna be like, well, listen, you can't say that anymore. You know, you're on our side. You're not on that side anymore. We're
Yeah.
giving you all the information that we wanted. Anyway, I don't know. I just don't see. I don't know.
Here's Tom Brady on the rumors about him joining the Dolphins.
Situation in any circumstance. Any truth to those reports, Tom?
About me going to,
Joining the Dolphins in any capacity.
I mean, again, I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, as I've had for the last 3 or 4 years in my career, about, different opportunities when I'm done playing with football. So, I kind of made a decision of what I'd like to do, and I'll get to be in the game of football. And I think for me, the most important thing is where I'm at now, and what I hope to do for this team. That's been my commitment to, this team and organization. It's been so much fun for me to come here 2 years ago. It's been almost 2.5 years now, and it's been an incredible part of my football journey. And it's not over, and we still got a lot to accomplish. So I got a long life ahead, and there's a lot of fun things to do ahead. I'm looking forward to what's ahead in football, but at the same time, none of us are promised much beyond what we have now, and this is the current moment, and I'm really excited about going out there to try to compete and win a championship.
That's too good. I mean, listen.
He doesn't say no.
Yeah. How to answer a question without answering a question,
Yeah.
right?
He's. I mean, I guess
He's
that's the
100% right.
Patriot training, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Like-
I know. I mean, listen, Tom Brady, he's been flawless. I mean, whatever if he's doing something, it's on the up and up. But I think that they must have paid off at least ESPN to not say anything.
Yeah. Or,
Because-
well, I mean, the
or
payoff is in that giant TV contract, I imagine.
or like Tom
right?
Brady tells Schefter, and he's like, "Listen, I've done you all these favors. I've given you all these leaks throughout the years. I've confirmed things for you. This one, don't talk about it."
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like that's the stuff.
But,
That's the
like,
stuff
it's
that we
not
know
like
exists that we
But it's
kind
not
of
like
avoid.
a criminal thing. Like, why not talk about it? Is it just so he can sell it on the podcast?
No, because it might be
in his
illegal.
retirement?
It might be illegal. It might be like some
I
sort
get,
of
oh yeah, the
some sort of
tampering.
Maybe there's
Yeah.
tampering involved.
yeah.
or
That's what
whatever
I
it
think. That's
is.
what it is.
And they
because
promised him
when would
they
they
promised him percentage of the team,
Exactly.
which they can't do.
well, you can't give it to a player. Is that what it is?
Yeah, which is
Okay.
also ridiculous. By
I
the
mean,
way.
why wouldn't the player?
Because if you're a private company and you want to promise equity to a really good employee
yeah,
to keep them,
to a guy who's potentially going to grow
why would that be illegal?
the
Anyway,
revenue
sorry.
and the
I
brand
just-
of that company.
Let's just be happy it's illegal. Otherwise, Deshaun Watson would be part owner of the Browns.
he might already be.
Well, I
actually.
think he already is. With the amount of money he stole from them. Fuck.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
robbed them blind. That guy.
Well, I mean, is it robbery when the news is public and we were on the show being like,
His agent robbed them blind. Then.
Why?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like what? Why?
the fact that
why?
and we said it last week.
Why guaranteed?
The fact that there was a bidding war is insane.
It's
to me.
bananas.
Insane.
And Calvin really is not playing football this year
Yeah,
for
Well,
$1,500 worth of weed.
because the partners of DraftKings and all these other
With the weed.
with the
Gambling.
yeah.
Sorry.
It threw me off a little. Not gonna lie.
That's crazy.
We do a weed story later.
But that's
so.
crazy. That's crazy. $1,500.
Before we get to the interview, just quickly, this is the NHL Finals we want, right?
It's the finals that
I-
most of our staff predicted in our staff picks.
It's for me as a casual fan. Obviously, I want
gonna
the
be-
Montreal Canadiens
it's
to
gonna be
make it the
nuts.
finals because I'm a fan. But if not that,
It's gonna be nuts.
I wanted this. Like, these are the two best teams in the NHL. It's not debatable.
We at the beginning of the season, if I would not be surprised if they were 1 and 2, the two favorites going into the season.
My two favorite storylines about this finals. Number one, Corey Perry, 3 for 3 and making the finals on 3 different teams
see if
in
he loses.
consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Bananas.
Number two, one of the teams who makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals was always the team that eliminated the Maple Leafs from the first round.
Amazing.
So
There's another one. Pat Maroon is going to win his, I mean, if he wins, 4th in a row with 2 different teams. Vasilevsky hasn't allowed a goal in series clinching games. Let's see if he can continue that. Like, this is the storylines. Cale Makar is becoming legit the best player in the history of the NHL.
Oh, I've heard comparisons to him to Paul Coffey already.
Bobby Orr.
And Bobby Orr. We're just saying, like
Bobby
if
Orr's
he
name is going on,
refines,
yeah.
if he refines parts of his game that, like, because he's still super young,
Yeah.
he's trending to be Bobby Orr. Like it's
I-
not out of the realm of possibility.
I'll still say this, but like it's closer now. But I found Victor Hedman to be like the best defenseman in the league right now. But now I'm looking at Cale Makar. I'm like, that's gonna change pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm saying that Nicholas Lidstrom is the best defenseman that we've seen since Bobby Orr.
In my lifetime, the best defenseman I've ever seen is Nicholas Lidstrom.
I think we just changed
And
to
it might be Cale Makar, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
And like,
I'm
especially if
excited.
he has
It's
like,
gonna be
because like, look, as fans,
Tampa and 6.
there's analytics and that's important to understand the game. But the moments you have in the finals, in the Cup Finals, and playoffs, those are the emotional attachments we create to our teams, right? Like, it's how 1993 formed us as fans,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's how for you as a Cowboys fan, like these moments in the playoffs, that's what gets. And so, like, if Cale Makar has these moments, that's what's gonna already begin to create sort of that we use the term legacy loosely, but we use it loosely because there's no real definition. What it is these positive memories that this joy that players give us, like, by getting to watch them on the big stage, right? So that's what that is. Is this yet Tampa passing the torch to Colorado, who I expect to own the NHL for a decade?
Only if Colorado loses, and I don't see Tampa losing. Only if Colorado wins, and I don't see Tampa losing.
So you think it's like the Jason Tatum thing? They're like,
Yeah.
not there yet, right? Like, that's
No,
how you
they're
see it?
there. They
Yeah.
just it sucks that they're playing against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Like, Tampa Bay is notorious for being like the best. They make the best adjustments. That's
Yeah.
why they do so. That's why they don't do well in game ones. Like, it's just a known thing. I think they even said it, but like, they make the best adjustments. Nothing's gonna, like, it's not gonna matter what Colorado does. But the fact is that you have 4 guys on that roster, 5 guys, 6 even, that are world class, top of the line, top lines for each of their countries. In Colorado, and that's the part that interests me, is like, are they gonna have to be? They're gonna have to problem solve a lot against Colorado, and I don't know if they're gonna be able to do it that much. They've been in the
all
finals.
4 lines.
They've
It's
been in the
all
finals
4 lines that can do for Colorado.
3 years in a row. These guys are done. They're gassed, man. They played so many games.
Yeah,
They went to game
and
5
especially
with
with
Montreal last year, but still.
like, I know at least this year, there was like a bit of a break and the finals got pushed, but like, when you consider the bubble season,
Yeah,
that's a short period of time.
very short period.
It's
of time.
basically playing 3 finals in 2 years, right? Like, that's what it actually is,
And
right?
Colorado's been bounced in the first and second round in the last 2 years, so like, they've had their break, some would say, but like, Tampa Bay, they haven't had one, and I think this is it. If they win this is the best franchise in the history in all of sports in the last 25 years.
Since the Red Wings in hockey, let's say, I'd say
No, not even.
Since the Patriots. Patriots were better.
The Patriots.
They're more winning franchise over
No.
25 years.
Oh, over 25 years, yes.
You said you chose them.
You're 100% right. I apologize.
So since the Patriots.
Other than the Patriots.
But in hockey, like, they will have won more than the Red Wings. Absolutely. More consecutive anyway.
So Tampa Bay has only been in the league for like 30 years, I think. And they won a Stanley Cup in 2004, right before the lockout. And then they won 3 Stanley Cups now. They're already at 2 Stanley Cups now. They're already at 3. They're going to be at 4. Chicago has 9, and they've been their original 16. Like, the Leafs have 13, and they're the original 16. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy.
Absolutely. And game 1 is tonight, so we'll see how that's going. We'll keep tabs on that and hopefully get some awesome sound clips to go with the finals festivities. Finally, we get a break between NHL and the NBA. It's not going to be all at once, which is a fun experience.
Well, it starts tonight, game 1.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I literally just said that.
I know, because you said we're getting a break, but we're not getting a break. It's back to back.
No, but I'm saying, like, NBA is kind of done-ish,
Okay,
and then by next
Well, I
week
thought they had
we'll have an
said-
NBA champion and
Yeah.
we'll have the playoffs. So
I thought they had said that they were going to start the NHL after the NBA.
I thought so too. Yeah, I thought so too.
They should have.
Anyway, we're gonna get to our interview. We're gonna talk to Tasso Bozinakis coming next, and we're back as promised. Joining us is Tasso Bozinakis and
John Kantitsis. I'll say it because you're blind and you can't read the name properly.
I forgot my glasses.
And also we're dealing with the 2 guys that have the worst you guys are the worst at saying any kind
That's
of
not
name.
true. I'm great at names.
No, you're both
Greek names
awful.
are awful though.
You're both awful, let alone Greek names.
No, I disagree.
So let's go.
Hey, play-by-play guy. I get them all.
Yeah, whatever.
When I have time to practice, I get them. But no,
Tasso's-
I did forget my glasses. So doing this show has been a misery. I have prescription sunglasses, but that makes me look like an ultra douche.
Yeah.
And I try to keep my douche level around an 8. You know,
Yeah.
keep it around there.
I'm forever at an 8.5.
Yeah.
How about you guys? What's your douche level at?
Oof. Yeah, no, I'm up there.
Mine's pretty low. Pretty low.
It's always good. It's always good to acknowledge the amount of douchebag you have in yourself. Douchiness, not douchebag, because douchebags are assholes, but douchiness, especially when you're like a gym guy or whatever it is. I'm a huge douche at the gym. Now, I want to ask, how many douches do we have in the I don't want to say douches. Like every ball hockey room, there's always one guy that just sits there naked or does whatever. Like how many? He already has a name. Who's the guy on Team Greece that's just the boy's boy?
Soats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sotiri. We nicknamed Soats.
Soteria Panasopoulos. That's a nice long one for you there.
There you go. So guys, tell us about what the tournament is that we're gonna have in Laval in a couple weeks. Actually, next week, 21st, right? Tell us about that tournament. Is it only like Canadian Quebec Federation? What's the situation there?
Well, the tournament is run by the International Street Ball Hockey Federation. It's a tournament that goes on every 2 years at the men's level and the women's level. It's the premier ball hockey tournament in the world. This tournament specifically, there are 70 nations attending, 23 teams. So you'll have like the women's division has 5 teams, and the men's has 16. There's an A pool and a B pool. So no, it's not mostly Canadian teams. Most of the teams are from the respective nations, but there are some Canadian-based teams as well, obviously.
So like you guys are a Canadian-based team, I imagine, because I know of a lot of guys like growing up in Park X and living in Laval. You know a lot of the guys, like you hear the names that play on the team. So you guys are mostly from here. Do you guys have guys from Greece or from the States or anything?
Unfortunately, we don't have anybody from Greece at the moment. They're trying to establish some kind of connection back home, but there's no ball hockey being played right there. So right now you'd have like Team Italy, Team Armenia, Team Lebanon, Team Haiti, Team Greece.
We're considered a heritage nations.
Heritage.
Most of our players are Montreal, Toronto based. We have one guy who's out in Germany, Pitts.
Yeah, he's living in
One's in Seattle, Phil. So
And these guys,
majority.
and these guys are flying out to. These guys are going to fly out and they're going to play with you guys for the entire tournament. And you guys play other tournaments as well throughout the year, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, some countries do, like the Czechs, the Slovaks, the Americans. They play other. There's not too many tournaments in terms of like nations. It's more club teams or, provincial tournaments, national tournaments. But not. This is like the only real world championship that all the nations get together at.
So what does tryouts look like to actually make the roster here? Like, is this like everyone comes over on Sunday after Greek school, throw the ball around type of thing, slap on some goalie gear, or is it like a
Why would they
process?
throw the ball around Eagle?
We meet at Socrati in the gym, the old school.
That's
ball.
it.
Yeah.
Some of those pads made out of the old cushions, from the sofas. Right?
With those little sticks, the red and blue sticks. Oh man,
Get some
how many
duct
times I
tape
got
and
those
make
on
it-
my shins?
The first year we started off in 2009 when I first joined, it kind of looked like that. Nowadays we actually don't just invite anybody. So you make a cut. John and the staff go out, see some players in the respective leagues and whatnot, and they get an invite to the camp. Obviously, being Greek, we have a small player pool of players to pick from. But John and the staff do a pretty good job of weeding out and finding diamonds in the rough, if you want.
Yeah, Tasso, given that obviously the pool of players that are of Greek heritage is smaller than, for example, like Team Canada.
I'm gonna have to disagree because every ball hockey league I played in is full of Greek guys.
So based on your very tiny experience.
Exactly. The one division I play every year, full of Greek
Okay.
guys. So
Yes,
I
but
don't
are they
So
good?
what are your chances of winning
good,
this
yeah.
year? Is
Are
what
they
I'm
good?
asking.
Is the question? Yeah.
What are your chances of winning, Tasso?
Well, I think right now on paper we have the most talented team we've ever had. I mean, the program has come a long way, and like Tasso said in the beginning, we used to have tryouts. I think the first tryouts we had 85 people come out just to Montreal alone, and then we started just trimming it down and by, like you said, by invitation only. So our team has progressed, has gotten better and better every tournament, and on paper it's one thing, what you do on the floor is another, but technically we should have the most talented team ever.
John, this tournament is brought to us by Napper. They're a sponsor of the tournament. What can you tell us about them and their involvement with this tournament?
Yeah, the tournament, that's a good point. The tournament is brought by NAPR and by the Quebec Ball Hockey Association. They're working together on that. NAPR has really grown in the ball hockey world, as you know, and they're the ones that are actually putting down the floor at Place Belle. They're putting up the boards, and they've sponsored quite a few teams, just like ourselves. I mean, they've given us the shin guards and the gloves as sponsors. So they're the biggest sponsor of the tournament, and we're very excited to have NAPR aboard, and so is the ISBHF, because that's a great partner to have.
Is there hitting involved? Like on the boards, at least a little bit.
Well, it gets rough.
Tasso's involved.
If I'm involved, watch out. Again, it depends on the refs. It depends who's reffing the game. There's some games they'll let it go, some games no. But center ice hits definitely not allowed. Okay. Along the boards, it gets chippy, it gets rough, and you get a couple of bruises here and there.
There's always ball hockey men, notorious hackers, man. That's all they do. You need those shin pads.
Any special rules as part of the whole tournament, or just classic hockey rules, classic ball hockey and everything?
Like sticks in the middle kind of thing.
Definitely not that.
Imagine, that'd be too funny. Everybody just throws their sticks in the middle.
Classic ball hockey rules are pretty much the same as ice hockey, with the exception of the floating blue line. So what happens is you use the blue to enter the zone, and then once you're in the zone, it goes all the way to the red. So you have a much larger area to work with. That's pretty much the only difference, I would say. That I think, that's about it. And in a tournament like this, the stick work is not really tolerated. So there's a lot more penalties called than, let's say, in your local league. But other than that, the rules are pretty much the same.
Tell us about some of the players on your team. Like, who should we be looking out for? Like, is there any like weasels that like Brad Marchand types, or are we looking at like Ryan Reeves types? Like, what are we? Like, Tasso, what kind of a player are you? Like, are you the guy?
I'm that guy. I'm definitely that guy. I'm the Brad Marchand guy that's gonna get in your face, and a team needs a little bit of a boost, or someone needs to get the boys going. That's me. I'll get the unnecessary penalty and get into the fisticuffs.
No biting,
I
imagine. Right?
Tasso's a wily veteran. He's been there, how many times now? 9, 11, 13, 15?
This is our
17.
Yeah, we skipped 2 of them, and we had
6. Yeah.
How many guys have been playing as long as you, Tasso?
I'm the oldest, other than our other goalie.
So you got the C?
Yeah, one of our goalies. So I'm no, not the C. You used to have the A, but now it's time for the younger guys. We're more. We don't need the letter to be a leader.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
So let's say we were to go out.
You want to know? We can go through a list quickly. I mean, there's so many talented players this year. It's incredible. I mean, our captain Josh Barbas is the guy is a beast. He's on both sides of the floor. He's a ball hockey junkie, so he leads by example on and off the floor. The way he plays, he's very passionate about the game. We have other returning players like Pitsikulis, Kevin Kuzmarski, who's they do magic on the floor. We have actually Peter Bendanato that's playing with a Rocket right now, so he's going to be making his debut with us.
Nice. Pitsikulis, they're known for hockey, the hockey family, at least in the West Island.
Well, that's it. That's Chris is his dad, and Nicholas is actually living in Germany, so he's flying down for the tournament.
That's sick. That's actually pretty sick. So you guys got a good squad going. We're excited. Who's in nets? Do you have like a psychopath in nets? Because goalies, man, they need to be a little off. If they're not off,
well, they're a little off.
They're a little off, but no psychopaths, but they're a little off. No. I mean, we have a trio of goalies. We have John Redis, who's been there since 2009, so he's our veteran. Alex Mitsakis, great upcoming young goalie. It's going to be his 3rd tournament. I think he's the man right now behind the pipes for us. And Chris Economakis, a good young goalie coming up. So we're excited with the trio of goalies we have.
And we have about 5 other players on the team who played ice hockey goalie and could take on the role if needed.
So if I'm looking at the pool structure here, so Greece is pooled with Canada, Armenia, the Czech Republic, Finland, Haiti, Italy, Slovakia.
That's not the pool. That's
the
schedule.
This is the group. No, I'm saying this is the pool. The games that they're playing are against Armenia, Canada, Finland, and then the U.S., if I'm not mistaken, are the opening games. Is that basically right? That's a hard pull from the list.
It's the harder of the 2 pools, let's say.
Yeah, there's 10 teams in the A division, and so basically, in the A group, and then they divide it into 2. So the first one you have the Slovaks, the Czechs, Italy, Haiti, and the UK. The Slovaks are 4-time champions now in a row, and then on the other side you have, Canada's a powerhouse. They've won more tournaments than anybody else, so they're going to be the locals and probably the favorites. You have the Americans, who are always tough. You have Team Finland, who actually lost in the gold medal game last time, you have ourselves and you have Armenia, who are making their A pool debut. So we have a very tough division, I would say. And we'd love to finish in the top 2 so we can hopefully get a bit of a better draw in the quarterfinals, but it's not going to be easy. We have hands full.
If you guys win this tournament, do you think you're going to celebrate more than when Greece won the 2004 Euro Cup? Like, which one's going to be the bigger party?
100%.
100% more celebrating going on.
100%.
Right next door in Westwood, next to Place Bell, which we had a little celebration last week there.
A pre-celebration.
A team bonding event.
Team bonding. Okay, there you go.
So how can people see the tournament?
Well, the tournament is going to be streamed. That is actually just in the works right now. It should be settled, I believe, by tomorrow. But obviously, the best is to show up. That's for sure, because the venues are really, really nice in Place Bell. It's the 2 rinks in the back. So one of them is the Olympic rink that's converted to a ball hockey rink right now. So that'll fit about 2,500 fans, and that's the best way. I mean, it's nice to stream it and to watch it, and we encourage you that if you can't come to the games to actually go and stream it. So that information we'll have on the ISPHF website, www.ispHF.com. It should be up by tomorrow. And then if you want to buy tickets, you can go to ahbq.com and purchase your tickets. There's no tickets at the door, so everything is just on your phone. You can purchase tickets. We have weekly passes, daily passes, and I encourage you to come out just to watch the players live, because that's the best way to see this.
For sure. I was going to say, I'm for sure going to go. I live in Laval. I'm for sure going to come watch. See you guys against Team USA and beat them. That'd be unbelievable.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be unbelievable. I wanted to ask, though, so I played hockey before. I played in nets a couple times, but I play up. But I'll put on pads. You bring out the whole team.
Why are you desperate to look bad?
I'll interrupt you. We have a Masters tournament in September where it's over 37.
I'm 36. I just turned 36 on Monday.
Why'd you say that? You could have said you were.
Yeah. What are you trying to say? I look 37, Tasso? Is that what you're trying to say?
At least.
Listen, I'm 39, right?
So you guys come, and there's one kid that's entering the draft. He's going to get drafted in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round this year. He's agreed to do it. And another unnamed NHLer that used to play for the Habs, he's going to come and do it also. So you guys all line up, take clappers on my face, and see how many I can save. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
I'll save every single one of them.
All right.
It sounds like a jackass stunt gone wrong.
Yeah.
No cup.
It sounds like I'm doing the show without Terry for a couple of weeks while he's healing in the hospital.
No cup.
Well, Tasso and John, thank you so much for joining us on Not Sauce Work, part of the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. Do check out the tournament. It looks awesome. It's a good time. We'll be pulling for Team Greece because you guys came on our show. Until then, Team Canada can go fuck themselves. Thank you guys for your time. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Okay.
And we're back.
That was awesome.
That was fantastic.
Good
Do I flip you back, Terry? I feel like I should flip you back. I'm going to flip you back.
No, I like it like this, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to leave you like this then.
Well, if I look at you, it looks like we're looking at each other on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually it looks like we're all looking in opposite directions.
No, it's good.
We're almost always looking at each other. So,
all right, we're going to start with our first one. Don't cross the streams. Apple TV has reached a deal to air the MLS for 10 years and guarantees merely $250 million a year for this particular streaming contract. That's massive.
So who's guaranteeing? MLS is guaranteeing the money?
Yes.
That is unbelievable.
Well, so there's a premium to play sports, right? To have sports on your network.
Yeah.
Apple TV is trying desperately to get into it because they're at some point going to win the streaming wars because they have the most money.
Netflix is losing. Like,
well,
there's a lot of stuff I watch on Netflix, but it's losing.
But it does. The content that you're watching doesn't actually decide who wins.
Exactly.
Who wins is who has the most money.
Yeah.
Apple has the most money.
And everybody who's on Netflix has already spent their money.
Yeah.
So Apple's just going to be getting all these new kind of money. And Netflix never got into sports.
Look, Netflix, that was the mistake Netflix made, was not finding an avenue to sports. Although it's not easy to find that avenue, obviously. No. But the thing is that at some point, it's going to be either Amazon or Apple. And we've talked about this before. It won't even be Disney.
No?
They're not even close.
Well, Amazon got the NFL.
Yeah.
As of next year, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, I have to get I have Amazon Prime. That's what it's on, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to get like an Amazon Sports.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They'll, I'm sure, find a way to siphon more money out of
Who
us.
needs cable anymore?
It's just the new cable. It's just the new cable.
Exactly.
All right, next we have Mohawk Down. The Los Angeles Angels former manager Joe Madden had his hair fashioned into a mohawk to try and rally the troops, but then he was fired before he could meet the team with it.
Consecutive loss number 12. Madden got a mohawk haircut to try to awaken his team.
I love it.
The players never saw it. He was fired.
Oh my god! Imagine the embarrassment he has to do to go home and shave that fucking shitty mohawk.
So,
What do you think that's gonna do?
what do you do if you're Madden? Do you immediately shave it? Do you wait for it to grow in? Do you just, I'm a mohawk guy now. This is what I do. Like,
yeah, or do you just like say like, no, I already made this decision.
Yeah.
Like,
It wasn't about the team.
this is gonna be
about
my
me.
life. I already decided this. No matter which team I'm on.
It's my lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
Can't tell me
Like,
what to do.
Screw you. Who are you?
Yeah. Fashion police.
Yeah. Loser.
It just happens to all managers, I think, where they go from being the young hot shot who's got all the answers to being the one who goes for the cliches, right?
Exactly.
And tries to try the gimmick to rally the team. This one backfired horribly.
All right, next, Red Green Auto. At this past weekend's Grand Prix in Azerbaijan, I can never say that. The Baku Grand Prix.
Azerbaijan.
You're saying
Yeah.
I can't say names. Azerbaijan is the country. Eagle.
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. It's perfectly good. The
Azerbaijan.
professional F1 team, which I believe was AlphaTauri, which
Yes.
is the Red Bull farm team, let's call it,
Yeah.
had to repair the car of Yuki Tsunoda's wing in the back. The DRS system broke. So to give you an idea in terms of what this looks like, this is what happened to it, where only half of it would open and it was cracked down the middle. And so
I
the
never understood what
engineers
DRS
found the
is.
solution to this: duct tape.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I never understood what the DRS is.
Drag reduction system.
Drag
No,
reduction
I,
system.
I know that it does that, but like, why did they say he's got the DRS? Like, you only can use it in certain moments.
So yes, there's there's a
okay.
line on the track where if you're within a second of the car in front of you, there's another area in the track where you can open up your back wing and it gains you extra speed in an overtaking zone essentially. So you're able to easier pass or at least catch up
So
to the
it
car in
won't. It
front of
wouldn't
you.
be in a chicane.
Usually no.
Yeah, I
Usually
was
it's in a straightaway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now I
But yeah.
It wouldn't be in a hairpin.
because I knew what it was. I looked that up, but I just didn't know why he would say he has the DRS. Like, don't they always have it? Now I get it.
No.
Next.
It's like in in Grand Theft Auto stunt races. You hit that little thing that makes you go faster, or Mario.
Yeah,
Kart,
yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah.
That's what it does.
Okay. Cool.
Montrez after next. Charlotte Hornets Montrezl Harrell
It's just pronounced Montrez.
will face
Montrezl Harrell.
felony charges after being stopped with 3 pounds of weed.
That's it.
You should move to Montreal.
Yeah.
Well, technically 3 pounds is also illegal in Montreal. It just seems odd because you could have 800 gallons of whiskey and that's fine.
Yeah.
But 3 pounds of weed is an issue.
But why? Is it? What state is he in? Florida?
Charlotte, I believe.
So I guess it's
if he's
not,
if
it's
he's
not
still-
legal.
It's not, but there's also like for example, even in Canada, you're only allowed to carry I think 10 grams before it's considered intent to distribute or whatever it is.
Yeah, unless you have a note.
Yeah,
And with a note, you're allowed carrying 150 grams at any time,
yeah.
which is weird.
It's a great note.
150 grams a week.
Which doctor gives me this note? No, so it just it seems like an arbitrary decision of like this substance, the one that you could sell for the least amount on the street.
Yeah.
That's the issue. But any other substance, it's fine.
It's okay.
You know.
We'll be all right.
All right, next, street slump. Anthony Davis of the LA Lakers has reportedly not shot a ball for over 2 months. Is this part of his off-season training program?
No, there's some guys that like even boxers and stuff that just don't go to the gym for a month after they fight.
He regularly doesn't shoot for 2 months when he's always hurt. So
Yeah.
why would this be different from any other day?
So you're saying he's hurt.
Well, he's always hurt. It's Anthony Street
he's
clothes.
I have this theory that he's part of the crew that goes through LeBron and ends up hating basketball. Like there's a lot of guys that are like that.
I feel like it's just Kyrie.
Kyrie's a big one.
Yeah, it's just Kyrie.
Danny Green.
Oh,
No, he never played. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Delonte West.
I mean, that's a different
Zion
reason.
Williamson
Yeah.
for
different
sure.
reason.
Different reason. Zion Williamson never played with LeBron.
That probably will happen.
What happened was Eagle was not paying attention to the show and answered a question that was not asked.
Next.
And our last one, stay off the eggs. A farming community in Lampang, Thailand has been feeding its chickens cannabis and claims this new feeding regime has improved the quality of the meat and the eggs coming from the chickens.
No
I
shit.
think they're just high.
Yeah, you just have the fucking munchies, bro.
So, but wait, maybe Montrezl Harrell was just trying to get to the chicken.
Yeah. Maybe he just had 3 pounds worth of chicken.
Yeah. What came first, the chicken, the
Or the
egg, or
weed?
did Montreal get super high?
What came first, the chicken, the egg, or the egg basted weed?
So in theory, some places in Montreal you can actually have chickens in your backyard, right?
Yeah.
So
I have
if
a
you're
neighbor
allowed,
who has chickens.
if you're allowed to grow your own stuff, you could theoretically put them on this diet and test the theory out.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
But I really don't believe that. I don't think that chickens are made to digest weed. They're not smoking it.
Do they?
I can't picture.
I mean, it's a herb; they'll eat it, right?
Well, yeah, but,
Sure,
it's-
but, like, I'm
but
saying,
no, but
like, I
it
don't
doesn't
think
work if you just eat it. It needs to
Like, how does
be.
their system
Decarboxylated.
oxidize it and cannibalize it?
I would imagine in oils and stuff.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
We're idiots.
Well, some of us. And that's it.
Listen, I'm going to be on the Greek national team in ball hockey with Tasso and
Don't
John.
think that you will. They
Yeah.
thought you were 1,000 years old, first of all.
I'm 2
Second
years
of
younger
all,
than they are.
You can't make a blocker with a mouse pad. That won't work,
That's a
Terry.
good point.
You don't have equipment.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out.
I'll just wear 2 gloves.
Just double glove it. No stick.
No stick.
Who needs a stick?
Who needs a stick?
How many
goalies have made saves with sticks?
Zero.
It's more like
happened.
a comfort thing so you can lean on it, like Ken Dryden.
Yeah, Ken Dryden or
Yeah.
Ron Hextall to throw at shit.
Yeah.
Or Martin Brodeur score a goal every decade.
And Ray Emery, R.I.P., but him to throw shit also.
Yeah.
And Tuukka Rask to break.
So you have less impetus to throw something.
Yeah,
Not
I'm not impotent. No.
Yeah. You have less impetent to throw your stick. That's what I said. I want to thank Tasso and John of the Greek national team for joining us. They were awesome guests. I want to thank Eagle for his production work. Terry, thanks for everything you did today. It's a great show. More than that, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, for liking, subscribing, rating, reviewing, doing all that wonderful stuff. And most of all, I want to thank you all for letting me be myself. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.